In the spotlight tonight is Richard Pearce from Chippenham, an author and freelance lecturer. His specialist subject is British political history from 1905 to 2004. Peter Shirtcliffe from Sneinton, a ship's cook. His subject is Muhammad Ali. Dorothy Walker from Tottington is a writer, and her chosen subject, the musicals of Stephen Sondheim. And Lewis Graham from Stevenage, a systems analyst, and his specialist subject, Sherlock Holmes. Hello, I'm John Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind. The rules are simple, but the questions far from it. Each of our contenders will be tested on their specialist subject and their general knowledge. The winner tonight goes through to the next stage, the second round, and then, who knows, the final. And the big prize, a glass bowl, but far more importantly, the highly coveted title of Mastermind Champion. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Richard Pearce.
Your occupation?
Author and freelance lecturer.
And your chosen subject?
British political history, 1905 to 2004.
British political history in 2 minutes, starting now. Who wrote in her diary, "She is so clearly the best man among them," on Margaret Thatcher's election as the Conservative Party leader?
The Queen Mother?
Barbara Castle.
Oh.
Who was appointed Chancellor of the Exchequer in Campbell Bannerman's government in December 1905?
Herbert Asquith.
Correct. Who was the first person to disclaim a title under the 1963 Peerage Act?
Anthony Wedgwood Benn.
Correct. In the coalition government of 1919, Sir Eric Geddes became the first holder of which ministry?
Ministry of Housing.
Transport. Which writer and campaigner for divorce reform was the independent MP for Oxford University from 1935 to 1950?
Sir Stephen Fry.
No, A.P. Herbert. Who was the Secretary of State for the Environment in the late 1980s, who popularised the term NIMBYism, but was himself accused of it when he opposed building near his own home?
Nicholas Ridley.
Yes. Which party's first MP was J.T. Walton Newbold, who won Motherwell in 1922?
Scottish National Party.
Communist Party.
Oh.
Which party's candidate, Stephen Allison, pushed the Conservatives into 4th place in the Hartlepool by-election of 2004?
The UK Independence Party.
Yes. Other than Prime Minister, Ramsay MacDonald held which major cabinet post in the minority Labour government of 1924?
Foreign Secretary.
Correct. Who, along with Lord Carrington and Richard Luce, resigned from the Foreign Office within days of Argentina invading the Falkland Islands in 1982?
Lord Simon.
No, Humphrey Atkins, right. Baron Colebrook. For which constituency was Cyril Smith, the Liberal and later Liberal Democrat MP from 1972 to 1992?
Rochdale.
Correct. Which Derbyshire council opposed the Heath government's Housing Finance Act that forbade subsidised housing, leading to the councillors, I've started so I shall finish, leading to the councillors being surcharged by the district auditor?
Clay Cross.
Clay Cross is correct. You had no passes, Richard Pearce. You have 7 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Peter Shirtcliffe.
Your occupation?
Ship's cook.
And your chosen subject?
The life and career of Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, in 2 minutes, starting now. Who was the only British fighter to go the distance twice with Muhammad Ali?
Joe Buckner.
Correct. What was embroidered on the back of the jacket that Ali wore at the weigh-in for his first fight against Liston?
The Louisville Lip.
Bear hunting. Which of Ali's daughters, born to his third wife Veronica in 1977, is now a professional boxer?
Hannah.
Layla. At which Armed Forces Induction Center in Florida did he fail a mental aptitude test in January 64?
Fort Lauderdale.
Coral Gables. Which opponent had Ali just defeated in 77 when Ferdi Pacheco resigned as his doctor after his report on the health of Ali's kidneys was ignored?
Ernie Shavers.
Yes. In 1954, what incident caused the 12-year-old Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, to seek out Joe Martin, the man who introduced him to boxing?
Theft of his bicycle.
Yes. Which round of the first Liston bout did Ali fight almost blind when an irritant caused his eyes to close?
Fifth.
Yes. In 1998, Ali was appointed to which honorary diplomatic role by Kofi Annan, the General Secretary of the United Nations?
Pass.
At which New York venue was the third fight between Ali and Ken Norton held on the 28th of September 1976?
Yankee Stadium.
Correct. What significant gesture did Ali refuse to perform at least 3 times at the Armed Forces Examination and Entrance Station in Houston on the 28th of April 1967?
Taking a step forward for the inductions to join the armed forces.
Correct. Who organised the Louisville sponsoring group that gave the young Clay the financial backing to turn professional?
Bill Faversham.
Correct. Which Canadian boxer twice went the distance with Ali in title fights, first for the world title in 66 and then for the North American title in 72?
George Chavallo.
Correct. Which former world heavyweight champion refereed Ali's second world title fight with Liston in May 65?
Jersey Joe Walcott.
Correct. Who announced that he'd given Clay the name Muhammad Ali in a radio broadcast on the 6th of March 64?
Malcolm X.
Elijah Muhammad. With which of his fighters was Angelo Dundee travelling when he first met the young Clay in a Louisville hotel room in 1957?
Willie Pastrano.
Willie Pastrano is correct. You had 1 pass. Messenger of Peace. That was what Ali was appointed to by Kofi Annan. Peter Shirtcliffe, you have 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Dorothy Walker.
Your occupation?
Writer.
And your chosen subject?
Musicals of Stephen Sondheim.
Stephen Sondheim in 2 minutes, starting now. In which musical that previewed in New York in December 1990 did Lee Harvey Oswald, John Wilkes Booth and John Hinckley all appear?
Assassins.
Correct. In Sweeney Todd, the Demon Barber of Fleet Street, Todd mocks his rival Pirelli and challenges him to what?
A contest, shaving and
Yes,
two
that'll do
point.
it. 2 celebrated playwrights appear in The Frogs. One is William Shakespeare. Who's the other?
Aeschylus.
George Bernard Shaw. Which musical starring Anthony Perkins and Charmian Carr was produced only for television in 1966?
Pass.
Which Ingmar Bergman sex comedy was the basis for Sondheim's A Little Night Music?
Smiles of a Summer Night.
Correct. Which Sondheim musical opened in London's West End in September 1990 with a cast that included Julia Mackenzie and Nicholas Parsons?
Into the Woods.
Yes. Which actor who died in 2003 created the role of Sweeney Todd for the 1980 Theatre Royal Drury Lane production?
Len Cariou.
Dennis Quilly. Which musical with lyrics by Sondheim and music by Jules Stein includes the song Everything's Coming Up Roses?
Gypsy.
Correct. Which Canadian actor created the role of Frederick for the 1973 Broadway production of A Little Night Music, a role he later reprised in the film version?
Pass.
Which Sondheim musical is divided into 2 acts, the first set in 1884, the second 100 years later in 1984?
Sunday in the Park with George.
Yes. In which box office flop did Sondheim tell the story of the rich and powerful songwriter Franklin Shepherd in a series of flashbacks?
Merrily We Roll Along.
Correct. In Into the Woods, the baker and his wife have to acquire what belonging to Jack the Giant Killer?
Pass.
Which musical deals with the American influence on Japan and begins with the 1853 expedition sent to open trading links with that country?
Pacific Overtures.
Correct. Which musical features the song Side by Side by Side and Getting Married Today?
Company.
Company is right. You had 3 passes. It was a cow that they also had to acquire, belonged to Jack the Giant Killer. Len Cariou was the Canadian actor whose name we wanted, and the musical in question, Anthony Perkins, Charmian Carr, Evening Primrose. 3 passes. Dorothy Walker, you have 9 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Lewis Graham,
Your occupation?
systems analyst.
And your chosen subject?
Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes in 2 minutes, starting now. Where does Sherlock Holmes immediately deduce that Dr. Watson has been when they meet for the first time in a study in Scarlet?
Afghanistan.
Correct. What type of creature is the lion's mane that kills Fitzroy Macpherson in The Adventure of the Lion's Mane?
It's a jellyfish.
Yes, in The Hound of the Baskervilles, of which disease does Roger Baskerville die while he's in Central America?
Pass.
In A Scandal in Bohemia, what is the name of the London lawyer whom Irene Adler marries?
Pass.
In A Case of Identity, Holmes thinks he will write a monograph upon what object and its relation to crime?
Cigarette ash.
Typewriter. In whose shop in Kennington is the first smashed bust of Napoleon found in The Adventure of the Six Napoleons?
Pass.
What name does the Ferguson Spaniel in The Adventure of the Sussex Vampire share with Jethro Rucastle's Mastiff in The Adventure of the Copper Beeches?
Brutus.
Carlo, in The Adventures of the Three Students, a chapter of which ancient Greek historian's work must be translated in the examination for the Fortescue Scholarship?
Euripides.
Thucydides. Which of the crown jewels is Holmes asked by the Prime Minister to recover, although Lord Cantlemere opposes his involvement?
The orb.
The Mazarin Stone. In The Valley of Fear, which work by Professor Moriarty is said by Holmes to be so advanced that no man in the scientific press is capable of criticising it?
Paper on orbits.
Dynamics of an asteroid. In The Adventure of the Second Stain, which international agent blackmails Lady Hilda Trelawney Hope into stealing a confidential document from her husband's dispatch box?
Oberstein.
Eduardo Lucas. What was the title of the last Sherlock Holmes case to be published, appearing in Liberty magazine in March 1927?
His Last Bow.
The Adventure of Shoscombe Old Place. In The Sign of Four, what is Dr. Watson expecting to find when he opens the Benares metalworker box?
Pass.
In The Adventure of Silver Blaze, what's the name of Colonel Ross's other horse that he scratches from the Wessex Cup?
Pass.
I can tell you it was Bayard. The other passes you had were in The Sign of Four. Watson was expecting to find the Agra treasure. It was Morse Hudson whose shop had those smashed bust in it. Godfrey Norton was the name of the London lawyer in A Scandal in Bohemia. Yellow fever was the disease from which poor Roger Baskerville died. So, 5 passes, 2 points. So that takes us to the end of our first round. The scores are as follows. In 4th place with 2 points, Lewis Graham. 3rd place with 7, Richard Pearce. In 2nd place with 9 points, Dorothy Walker. In 1st place with 10 points, Peter Shirtcliffe. So, round 2, general knowledge. If there is a tie at the end of this round, then the number of passes will be taken into account and the contender with the fewest passes will be declared the winner. Let's get on with the general knowledge round and ask Lewis Graham to join us again, if he would, please. And as you've just discovered, there's an awful lot to know about Sherlock Holmes, isn't there?
There is a book 2 inches thick. It's in small type on very thin paper.
The enduring appeal of Holmes, what explains it, do you think?
They're ripping yarns. They are good adventure stories. They're grippingly written, very well paced, and they also travel a lot. At the time of the Victorian imagination, sort of there was the telegraph and the railway. Suddenly, distance had shrunk to almost zero. I mean, endless books. Holmes is telegraphing the chief of the Athens police, or he's telegraphing Chicago. And these are places which would be 3 weeks away if you were to do it any other way. And they've also just entered our consciousness. It's become one of those characters, like Shakespeare, they've just dug into our national consciousness and imagination. Mm.
Well, let's see how you do with your general knowledge. I'm afraid you've got a bit of catching up to do, so here we go. 2 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. Which future American president was once a radio sports announcer, first in Davenport, then in Des Moines, Iowa?
Ronald Reagan.
Correct. Which German word meaning trash is used for objects displaying bad taste, sentimentality and low artistic quality?
Schmaltz.
Kitsch. Which painter and graphic artist, born in Switzerland in 1879, described his work as an active line on a walk, moving freely without goal?
Pass.
Which Italian football club, founded in 1897 by students in Turin, takes its name from the Latin for youth?
Juventus.
Correct. The jay is a member of which bird family?
Pass.
whose theory states that the square on the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle is equal to the sum of the squares on the other two sides?
Pythagoras.
Yes, in Roman religion, which goddess was commonly identified with the Greek Athena?
Apollo.
Minerva. Scarborough is the principal town on which Caribbean island that forms a republic with its larger neighbour?
Pass.
An Accidental MP is the autobiography of which former BBC war correspondent?
Martin Bell.
Yes. What name is given to the full moon following a harvest moon?
Pass.
In which branch of Islam is Muhammad's cousin and son-in-law Ali regarded as his rightful successor, its name being a shortened form of Partisans of Ali?
Sunni.
Shia. In which Central American country is the Balboa the unit of currency?
Paraguay.
Panama. Close. Which Shakespearean character is the subject of at least 9 operas, including one by Verdi and one by Vaughan Williams and a symphonic study by Elgar?
Macbeth.
Falstaff. Which American state has the motto North to the Future and is nicknamed the Last Frontier?
Alaska.
Yes. Which singer played the teenage rock star Bongo Herbert in the 1960 film Espresso Bongo?
Cliff Richard.
Correct. Who was the last Secretary of State for Employment before the department was merged with Education in July 95?
Pass.
In which country were the Golan Heights before they came under Israeli military occupation in 1967?
Syria.
Correct. What are the names of the 2 crotchety old men, I've started so I shall finish, who watch and pass comment on the Muppet Show from a box above the stage?
Stadler and Waldorf.
It was, or they were, indeed. 5 passes. Michael Portillo was the last employment secretary before things changed. The Hunter's Moon follows the Harvest Moon. Tobago is the Caribbean island in question. The J is a member of the Crow family. Paul Klee said an active line, etc., etc. So there we are. 5 passes, Lewis Graham. You made up some ground, but not enough. 10 points. And now Richard Pearce, please. Now, if the books of Conan Doyle are a big subject, this one, British political history for a whole 100 years, is enormous. Why did you risk it?
I wanted to catch up with the early part of the 20th century. I read a brilliant biography of Churchill by Roy Jenkins, and I so enjoyed doing that. I decided to go for that. I did my best. I wish I could have got 1 or 2 more, but that's life.
No, you did very well. You got 7 points, yeah.
Right, okay.
You want to be an MP. You're
possible.
In your 60s.
60 now.
You haven't left it just a little late?
No, because Labour is against ageism as well as sexism and racism. So without being too party political, I think it might just be possible.
But you would be close to your mid-60s, wouldn't you, by the time...
I think by the end of the century, we'll be living to 115, so...
Right, so you'll be a relatively young man, really.
Quite possibly,
Quite
yes,
possibly.
yes.
Well, good luck with that.
Right, OK.
7 points so far.
Right.
Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. What are the 2 main colours that appear on the Spanish flag?
Red and yellow or gold.
Yes. Who arrived in a sealed train at the Finland station in St. Petersburg in April 1917?
Lenin.
Yes. Gate leg and drop leaf are both types of which item of furniture?
Tables.
Yes. Which American playwright's semi-autobiographical family tragedy Long Day's Journey into Night was posthumously published and first performed in 1956?
Eugene O'Neill.
Yes. Which game were children banned from playing unless they were wearing safety goggles by a Carlisle school in October 2004?
Conkers.
Yes. The honey that is used to flavour the liqueur Drambuie is produced from which plant?
Clover.
Heather. Which port is the principal town on the island of Corsica and the birthplace of Bonaparte?
Ajaccio.
Yes. What is the common name for the mammals which comprise the family Talpidae?
Marmosets.
Moles. The Quakers is the official nickname of which football league club?
Bradford.
Darlington. The antidepressant drug fluoxetine is marketed under what name?
Fluzoxin.
Prozac.
Oh,
Cobalt
Prozac.
oxide is used in ceramics to produce a glaze of which colour?
Sort of an ochre reddish colour.
No,
yeah.
blue. In 1849, French physicist Armand Hippolyte Louis Fizeau made the first reasonably accurate non-astronomical measurement of what?
The Cycles of the Moon?
Speed of light. What is shown as limp and flowing in Salvador Dali's painting The Persistence of Memory?
The clocks hanging
Yes.
down from trees.
Yes, watches and clocks.
Watches
In
and
gardening, what term derived from the Greek for an etching tool is used for the vigorous use of a rake to roughen a surface?
Roughening.
Scarifying. In which prison was Dr. Manette held in Charles Dickens' A Tale of Two Cities?
The Bastille.
The Bastille is right. No passes. Richard Pearce, you have a total of 15 points. And now Dorothy Walker, please. Stephen Sondheim, who wrote the lyrics for the greatest musical of all time. Can we agree on that?
No.
West Side Story, not the greatest musical of all time?
Well, it's not my favourite. I do rate it very highly.
There is a darker side to Sondheim, isn't there? I mean, most musicals tend to deal with the lighter side of life, I suppose. Certainly did until Sondheim came along.
Oh, they did, yes, yes. He's not one to go for the feel-good factor particularly. And he chooses strange subjects. I think maybe that's one of the things I like about it.
What in particular?
Well, assassins, which was one of my questions, and he put that on at a time of political crisis in America. I don't say deliberately, it just happened like that, but it certainly wasn't a success.
Well, you have 9 points with Stephen Sondheim. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes starting now. What were the original dial letters for the speaking clock?
TIM.
Correct. By what name is the Swiss-born architect Charles Edward Jeanneret better known?
It's not Charles Jenks, is it?
No, it's Le Corbusier.
Yes.
Which Venetian bridge is so called because condemned prisoners passed over it from the judgment hall to the place of execution or torture?
Bridge of Sighs.
Yes, Baltimore's the largest city in which of the United States?
Maryland?
Yes, who composed the symphonic fairy tale Peter and the Wolf?
Prokofiev.
Correct. Which Italian nationalist leader lived on the island of Caprera off Sardinia from 1856 till his death in 1882? His house and tomb are now national monuments.
Garibaldi.
Yes, the Herdwick sheep is particularly found in which English national park?
Lake District.
Yes. Held in June 1975, what was the subject of the UK's first national referendum?
Decimalisation?
No, membership of the European Economic Community. Yes. Derbies is a slang term for what item of a policeman's equipment?
Handcuffs?
Yes. Which baby care expert was arrested in 1968 and sentenced to 2 years in jail on a charge of helping young men avoid the draft for Vietnam?
Dr. Spock?
Yes. What's the frequency in hertz of the domestic electrical main supply?
240.
50. Which institution moved to its current home, Burlington House, in 1868?
The Royal Academy.
Yes. The Marmolada is the highest point in which alpine mountain range?
Pass.
Which Dickens novel features the characters Kit Nubbles, Dick Swiveller, and the heroine's profligate brother, Fred Trent?
Oh, Curiosity Shop.
Yes. Who won a Best Supporting Actress Oscar for a role as Mrs. Moore in the 1984 film A Passage to India?
Peggy Ashcroft.
Yes. The invention of which sport is generally, start it all finish, is generally credited to Major Walter Wingfield, who showed off his new game at a Christmas party at a country house in Wales in 1873?
Tiddlywinks.
Lawn tennis, close. 1 pass. The Marmolada is the highest point in the Dolomites. You have, however, Dorothy Walker, 20 points.
Wow.
And now Peter Shirtcliffe, please. And you've been a ship's cook for a very long time.
A very long time, back into the Middle Ages, really. Yeah.
Well,
it feels like it, you know. But
feels like
yeah,
it, but
yeah.
a very long time.
Yeah.
What's a stupid question in a way, because obviously you're at sea, but apart from that, what is the difference between being a ship's cook and cooking in a restaurant, for instance?
It's a big difference, really. A ship's cook, you're on your own, so forth. And cooking in restaurants is OK, but restaurants don't move. ships generally do.
What about the problems of cooking at sea? As you say, the ship's doing that a lot, especially in the North Sea, but...
Yeah, well, the problems with cooking is it's mainly sort of the stores. But if you work in restaurants, you can always order stores. You get stores every day, provisions. When you're on a ship, you have to think just a bit more on that aspect to make sure you don't run out.
I've often wondered why they don't just pre-cook the meals and, you know, like you do on aeroplanes, and stick them in a microwave and that's it. Don't need a chef.
Yeah, I disagree with that for that reason.
Oh, I bet you do.
Yeah, do me out for a job. You know, but they did try that some time ago on the big container ships going to Australia. Sort of massive TV dinners, frozen dinners, microwaves and so on and so forth. But he didn't go down. It wasn't popular. You prefer to have a cook there. Yeah, so, which, I say from my point of view, it's a good thing.
Right, you have 10 points at the moment. The score to beat is 20. So, let's see if you can do it with general knowledge, starting now. What nickname did the English give to the First World War German air ace Manfred von Richthofen?
Red Baron.
Yes, the name of which African language is derived from the plural of the Arabic word for coast?
Swahili.
Yes, which Manchester United footballer is the son of the Swinton and Wales Rugby League player Danny Wilson?
Pass.
The setting for which Nick Hornby novel was moved from London to Chicago in the 2000 film starring John Cusack?
Pass.
What name is given to a surveyor's mark cut on a rock and taken as a point of reference?
Trig point.
Benchmark. Which London fish market moved to West India Dock on the Isle of Dogs in 1982?
Billingsgate.
Correct. Whose best-known paintings, Primavera and The Birth of Venus, can be seen at the Uffizi Gallery in his native Florence?
Botticelli.
Correct. Chateau d'Yquem is one of the most celebrated and expensive varieties of which sweet white wine from Bordeaux?
Champagne.
Sauterne. In the mythology of ancient Egypt, Thoth was the patron of scribes and the god of which celestial body?
Jupiter.
The moon. What name is given to an embryo of a mammal, especially a human, when the main features of the adult are recognisable?
Fetus.
Yes. What are the international vehicle registration letters of cars from Canada?
C.
CDN. What is the name of the nightclub singer played by Liza Minnelli in the 1972 film Cabaret?
Sally Bowles.
Yes. Which Italian city-state ruled Corsica until the middle of the 18th century?
Florence.
Genoa. The lita is the unit of currency in which Baltic state?
Estonia.
Lithuania. Lawrence Dovell's novels Justine, Balthazar, Mount Olive and Clare are collectively known by what name?
Pass.
In pre-decimalisation currency, the coin known as the florin was worth how many old pence?
24 old pence.
Yes. Which Hungarian-born composer wrote the music for the ballet The Miraculous Mandarin?
Pass.
Although best known in another role, who plays Auntie Wainwright, the keeper of a second-hand shop in Last of the Summer Wine?
Thora Hird.
Jean Alexander, who resigned as leader of the Labour Party in June '83 after a disastrous showing in the general election earlier that month?
Michael Foot.
Michael Foot it was. You had 4 passes. Bartok was the composer, The Miraculous Mandarin. Lawrence Durrell wrote the Alexandria Quartet. High Fidelity was the Nick Hornby novel that we were looking for. And Ryan Giggs, the Manchester United footballer, son of Danny Wilson. Didn't quite make it, Peter Shirtcliffe. 18 points. So, at the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 10 points, Lewis Graham. In 3rd place, 15 points, Richard Pearce. In 2nd place, with 18 points, Peter Shirtcliffe. Pipping him at the post in 1st place with 20 points, Dorothy Walker. Which means, of course, that Dorothy Walker goes through to the next round. Congratulations to her. Please join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Tonight, the catastrophic market bets that sent the banking world into meltdown. The money men account for themselves in Bankers at 9. Next year on BBC Two, boozy puddings, a tricky creme caramel and a mighty meringue from the Great British Bake Off.